When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Tonight, the stage shifts to the heartland. Welcome to Iowa Speedway, where the cornfields echo with horsepower, and the Door Cup Series continues to count down until the playoffs. We're just about 4 races left until it begins. We're at a 7/8 mile bull ring, away from a short track classic. Every restart, every bump, every bold move could define a season. We're so glad you could join us here on Maconi Entertainment. Marty Sakala alongside Jeremy Briggs with you. Christian Hale working in Mission Control as our producer, using cameras from Whiplash Sim Cams. Well, Jeremy, this place at Iowa may look smooth and wide, but don't be fooled. This is a track that demands perfection.
It's definitely one of those tracks where you're going to have to manage where you are in that clean and dirty air with the cars around you. It may look like a big track, but it is only 0.87 of a mile. Just under a mile there. It's got great 4 turns. The front stretch really doesn't have more of any straightness to it, and it's opened in 2005, but this will be the 2nd year, I believe, for the Cup Series. And pit road speed, a slow 40 miles per hour. Banking is 4 degrees on the straightaways and 14 in the turns there, and I'm excited to see how this goes. It was exciting to see the real race this afternoon. We'll see how these drivers keep it close here on Door to Door.
4 races left here until the playoffs begin, and again, they go by the top 16 in playoffs. Look at the schedule here. Iowa, Watkins, Glen, Richmond, and Daytona end our regular season. And again, the Door-to-Door follows the real-life Cup Series schedule, with the championship being decided November 2nd at the Phoenix Raceway. Let's pull up the standings with how the playoffs would look here after 22 races. Now, Trevor Baxter, Daniel Best, Danny Carpenter, Stephen Bird, Michael Reeves, Joshua Hyatt, they're all locked in via points. No matter what happens through the rest of the regular season, they are locked in the playoffs. It's top 16 in points altogether that make it in. Doesn't matter how many wins you got to be top 16 in points. Bradley Knopsider with the final spot in points, 368 to 355. Alan Duggar first one out, 31 points below the cut line. Roland Collette 54 out, Alan Duggar 67, William Hewitt 69. You look, though, meanwhile above, Brian Wasserman, James Nesta looking for some really good days. So it's really that battle from 14th on back, Jeremy, that we're watching closely through these handful of races down the stretch in the regular season.
And with the playoff looming, one of those drivers that's been trying to, obviously you can't win your way in, so trying to point his way in, missing a few weeks, is that number 15 of Alan Duggar, having a great strong run here over the summer months, trying to capitalize on some driver's misfortune and lock himself into the playoffs here late in the season, and maybe going a great playoff push. We'll have to keep an eye on that.
With us here this evening, second quickest in qualifying. Right now at the moment, last week, Indianapolis Motor Speedway, Miguel Alvarez, his first win of the season, leading over 40 laps in that one, taking it over Chris Asari, William Hewitt, Gus Otero, and Danny Carpenter. That was the top 5 at IMS last Sunday. Qualifying continuing here. They just have under 2 minutes left until we get the starting lineup. Steve Lamar currently quickest, and as I say that, Billy Brickley puts her to the top of the 69, a 22:87 lap time by 500ths over Steve Lamar. William Lark putting his first lap in here in qualifying. He clocks in 5th, 23:10. Danny Carpenter making his way through 3 and 4 in the number 28. First lap time for Carpenter across the line at the 7/8 mile track, 13th quick at a 23:39. You're watching William Lark as he takes the checkered flag. I don't know if he clipped the wall there or not. He did, so that invalidates lap number 2. Daniel Best on the racetrack in the number 5 ride. He makes his way off of turn number 4, his first lap coming up here. Under a minute left in qualifying before we get you the starting lineup. Best goes 7th, 23.20. Second lap time was better for Carpenter, 23.33 still, 14th spot. So 17 drivers qualify here, and Billy Brickley, if the looks of it, will line up on pole, and that will be the case. Jeremy, before we get the starting lineup, your keys to victory here this evening.
Definitely keeping all 4 tires going straight. This track is going to be probably hot here early on. It's got a lot of bumpness to it. You got to be very careful with the transition from the pavement through these turns with this update with iRacing. It's got a lot of grip somewhere and not so much grip elsewhere, and especially when you get that aero tight behind another driver, you're going to be careful with the cars all around you. And with it being an open setup race, these qualifying times are and kind of in groups, and they're pretty close, so it's going to be an exciting race to see here tonight.
What Jeremy's referring to, the new repay from 2024 before Cup came to Iowa, in effect now with the latest track refresh. So you got the worn out asphalt on the top, the refreshed asphalt though on the bottom. Drivers are getting set to take the green flag. Let's meet the field and get you the starting lineup. Again, Billy Brickley starting on pole position. His time 22.874. Steve Lamar to his outside in the 18. Alan Duggar, Chris Asari make up row number 2, the 15 and the 4. Followed by William Lark running out the top 5 in the 10. And Daniel Best starting 6th in the 5. Row 4, Brian Wasserman in the 57. Starts 7th to his outside, Josh Switzer in the 6. And rounding out the top 10, Michael Reeves in the 00, and Nate Pollard in the 16. Jeremy, 11 to 20.
Just outside the top 10 is the 41 of Michael Kurgelak in 12th starting spot. You got the number 22 of Sanchez, Joshua Sanchez, excuse me. 13th, you got the number 3 of Brian Burchett. 14th, you got the 28 of Danny Carpenter. 15th, you got the number 29 of James Nesta. 16th, rolling off, you got the 35 of Hugh Brown. 17th, you got the number 17 of Thomas Freeman. 18th, number 12, most dominant driver here this season, Driver Baxter. 19th, that's going to raise control, so we're going to pretend that's not there. So 19th will be William Hewitt in the number 11, and 20th will be James Hegland in the 99.
Look at the rest of the field here. These drivers did not qualify, so starting via iRating, you mentioned Thomas Hegland, Josh Hyatt up there as well in the 2. Also rounding out the field, Ronald Judd in the 64, Terry Orr in the 54, Tommy Osborne rounds out the field of 24 that will prepare to take the green here in just a little bit. Just waiting on 2 drivers to grid before they'll roll off for what I believe will be 2 pace laps here around the 7/8 mile facility in Iowa. And if you missed that Cup race, by the way, earlier today, William Byron, spoiler alert, taking the win on fuel mileage. Nice win for the 24 when he needed as well after a tough past few weeks. So no call for Michael Wambold. Race analysis for this evening, 228 laps, stages ending for the first 2 stages ending at lap 40 and 100. 75% fuel, so the fuel window about 80 to 85 laps or so. So drivers will have 1 pit stop in stage number 3. Drivers, as always, 5 sets of tires available and 1 green-white checkered as well. So typically, when the caution flags wave between the stages and maybe even after a long run, you're going to want those 4 fresh Goodyear tires, that's for sure, Jeremy.
Absolutely right there, Marty. And speaking of the real-life racing, I believe that's 2 weeks in a row that the leader of the race was supposed to run out of fuel and still had plenty of fuel to do a burnout. So those crew chiefs have been lying to us, I think, a little bit. But we'll see if fuel mileage comes into play tonight.
Absolutely. 82 degrees, mostly cloudy conditions. Track is hot, 106 degrees. That's going to be even worse as well for the tires here too. You've got a slick racetrack to start things off here. Where do you really want to start here at Iowa? Do you want to be on the lower, smoother asphalt or the abrasive asphalt up top? Which also something to keep in mind, progressive banking around this track.
I feel like the middle lane throughout the run may help the drivers save some tires. That is my belief. I want to see how it executes. And I'm saying just the top of that freshly paved area there through the turns as the pace car lights are off. Field is doubled up. This is going to be a great 24 car field here tonight for 228 laps.
Well, we're glad you could join us on Maconi Entertainment for this one. Big month for Iowa when it comes to racing. Obviously, just had NASCAR weekend wrap up this weekend, the Knoxville Nationals for sprint car racing. They come off turn 4. Where else would you rather be than right here, right now? Brickley Lamar, bring us the green, and showtime in the Hawkeye State. Brickley early race lead. Duggar has cleared Lark and Lamar for the second spot. Bunch of double file racing here as they go down the back straight here into turn 3. Lark's got that cleared for third. Best and Lamar now drag race off the corner, and the 5 Camry of Best has the advantage for fourth. But it's Billy Brickley leading lap 1 here, Jeremy.
Brickley off to a strong start, the number 69, but throughout the field, here right now I got Lamar, Wasserman, you got Essery, and the 22 of Sanchez all fighting here for the final, close to the edge of the top 10 with Reeves right there, 0-0, fighting behind them with Danny Carpenter, with Kerjelak. Now Carpenter now giving the pressure on Reeves there in 10th.
Watching Wasserman and Best on your screen, the battle for fourth. Everyone liking the smoother asphalt for right now. No one wanted to take the risk and go on the abrasive asphalt like we saw for years past in Xfinity and Truck before Cup started coming here. All the grooves were possible here, especially on the high side, where you can get on the throttle first and propel yourself on corner exit. That may be the place to be in the final laps. We'll talk about that later on here. But again, Essery now dealing with Wasserman for a spot. 57 though up on the wall, loses another position there to Sanchez, and maybe one there to Lamar.
Yes, gives Sanchez the number 22 up to 6th position. Wasserman trying to hold back Lamar, but he may just give it up here to kind of gather his stuff, get back into a groove here. He's got plenty of room back there to the 9th place of Kerjelak. Right there on the screen is Chris Chavez Essery. He is in the pit spot looking to get around the number 5 of Daniel Best on the outside in that black and gold number 5.
Second groove that Essery's trying to get that to work, coming off a second place finish at IMS last week. I think he kissed the wall there coming off in turn number 4. May have opened up an opportunity for Sanchez to grab a position, we'll see. But it's basically an Amtrak train from second on back. You know, I know Ken Squire liked to say an Oklahoma land rush. This is basically an Iowa land rush. Coming here off in turn 4, Duggar, Lark, Best, Essery all battling for second, while Billy Brickley, meanwhile, is gone already. 2-second advantage on the field. 5th start on the season for Brickley in that 69. Still looking for that first win of 2025, but this has just been a dominant start for him. I know it's only lap number 7, but to have a 2-second lead like this already, holy moly.
And the stopwatch is not lying either. He just ran a 37 to Duggar's 63. So laying down those laps right now, the number 4, one of the fastest cars on the track that last lap.
Lap times typically hover in the 23-second range in Cup cars, so things here at Iowa really do happen fast. Drivers are working traffic constantly, especially when we get to after the 15 laps. You can compare it maybe as well, Jeremy, to a big Martinsville, but drives more like a Richmond with a dash of Homestead's line variation.
Boom, you nailed it right on the head there, Marty. It's definitely another version of Richmond, like you said, with that dash of Homestead. Definitely has those vibes, trying to figure out which line is going to work. Looks like right now the top line looking all right for defensive-wise. As you can see, that number 5 of Daniel Best behind that number 4, doing a good job of holding off William Lark and Joshua Sanchez as they're battling side by side for 5 and 6.
Sanchez 22, Lark in the 10. It's very easy to go door to door here for numerous laps at this racetrack. Very possible in Xfinity trucks, and they're showing it early here on the Cup side. A little bit of a shallow entry there for Lark going to turn 1. Sanchez trying to get the advantage here on corner exit though. Keeping an eye, remember, keeping an eye on Sanchez here, playoff-wise, as he came in below on the cut line. 31, excuse me, actually, he's down 21, in particular to Bradley Knopfsnyder, and Knopfsnyder not in the field this evening as well. So that's something to keep an eye on there too. So Sanchez and Alan Duggar running second. Those are the 2 drivers we are keeping our eyes and ears closely on here tonight, looking for that final playoff spot because after tonight we'll have 3 races left towards the playoffs.
Right there, looking at number 2, right now in the second position, that number 15 of Alan Duggar.
Oh, hang on, Sanchez.
Yeah, I was going to say
Sanchez.
Sanchez.
Really sideways.
Yep.
Got sideways off for turn 2 as he dirt tracked it, battling William Lark for position. Still drag racing off for turn 4. This time Lark should get up. And again, there's the high side, the 14 degrees of progressive banking. And look at this, a run by the 18 of Lamar. He thought about going 3 wide. Kyle Busch tried it and it worked, but it didn't work for Lamar that time.
Little contact there to the wall for Sanchez. That's really going to hurt your momentum. Definitely want to keep it up there, especially when you're running that top side. Oh, it's going to get really tight here on the exit of 4. That's going to open the door and give that position to that number 10 of William Lark. Put him in P5 as Lamar now tries to capitalize.
Yeah, Lamar trying to take advantage of it as well. Sanchez driving back though, not giving up in that Ford Mustang number 22. And so many possibilities to go side by side. That's just what we're seeing right here. In fact, give credit to Sanchez once again. Started 12th, right in the 7th spot. Michael Kurgelek up there as well. Started 11th and is up to the 8th position. And they nearly come to blows in turn 2.
One thing this league does a great job of is living up to its name, door to door. We've been door to door here for a few laps with Joshua Sanchez trying to hold on to each and every position. Right now, I don't know if the top's not working just yet. Maybe he's just about a halfway too high. Excuse me. There's almost contact there from Kurgelek, if not contact.
Man, Kurgelek was leading all over the 22 in the battle for 7th on your screen. Still keeping our eye on as well in front of them. We'll still keep this race on your screen, but also keeping a close eye too on Daniel Best, William Lark, Steve Lamar that got past the 41 and the 22 as they're close to each other, but Lark just does not see any openings to try and go for the pass just yet on Daniel Best.
Watch the William Lark doing a great job coming through the field right now. As you can see, Sanchez right there. Settling into 8th. Little pressure right now from that 00 of Michael Reeves in the Duncan machine.
Billy Brickley now has opened his lead up to 3 seconds, and one of the keys I had from my perspective coming on in while we watch some more racing is the edge early goes to those strong qualifiers. You look at Chase Briscoe, for example, had that pole speed 136 miles an hour last weekend, although he didn't lead the first lap. You want to be leading the opening stages to get that track position. That's what we saw with both William Byron and Brad Keselowski in stage 1 earlier in the Cup Series.
Berkeley was our fastest car here for the first 20 laps, but look no further, that number 15 just clicked off 2 faster laps by almost a tenth.
Gap though staying at 3 seconds, so I don't know if it's anything that Brickley needs to be too concerned about as we're halfway through stage 1. Let's talk, we talked a little bit of tires, and I think that's going to be the name of the game here today, tires. And, the newly repaved turns here lead to a lot of tire degradation, Managing that heat buildup and that grip loss, very crucial for maintaining lap speed, especially when we get a long run. So you really have to adapt your driving technique, Jeremy, throughout the night tonight.
Absolutely there, Marty, especially the track temperature right now at 112 degrees. It doesn't sound too hot unless you go put your hand on some blacktop. That's 112 degrees. And these tires definitely have to be managed. Quick stage 1. So Brickley, once I said something, pulled off a couple quicker laps there, as you can see on our ticker on the bottom.
Hornets Nest in 3 and 4 for position. Sanchez racing Carpenter. Hang on, Michael Reeves. Gets into the apron, luckily able to make the save in the 00, but he goes outside the top 10. Lou lost a couple spots. But man, another close call for that 00, but still side by side now behind Sanchez, Carpenter, and Pollard for 9th.
Reeves trying his best to just cool those tires off without losing too many spots. When you get sideways like that, those tires will get extremely upset. Right now, falling into the clutches of James Ness. That'll put him back to P13. He's got a little bit of breathing room to Hugh Brown. See if he can
Sanchez, as he tracks into turn number 3. Carpenter says sorry on the radio, didn't mean that, but Sanchez with another great save.
Speaking of upset tires, those tires are going to be upset.
Oh yeah,
grab a quick replay. That was a great save by Sanchez.
Yeah. Tire fall off, absolutely real. Here's a look at the replay with Sanchez, and Carpenter just about eats him there into turn 3. Here's another look at the 16 car too of Pollard.
Oh, Sanchez around with one strike right now.
Oh yeah, Sanchez went sideways and hard to the wall to 57 of Wasserman. First caution waits, lap 27.
And that will end Wasserman's night.
It just got from bad to worse for Josh Sanchez as he was trying to hang on to that number 22, but the biggest impact of them all came from the 57 Dosecki's car. Here's a look at what happened here to Sanchez off of 4.
Just looks like it gets a little loose off of 4. Battling here side by side with Wasserman in that 57. Watch the 22 on the outside in that white car, red numbers off of 4. Right here, yep, sideways trying to catch it. Doing the best he can. Unfortunately, Wasserman nowhere to go. And then behind him was the number 3 of Brian Burchett. Unfortunately, it happened so fast.
Oh, it's that missed it not just once but twice. I think that may be the 99 of William, no, the 11 of William Hewitt. That may be a change of pants by the end of the night. That pink does not look good. That may be from pink to brown.
Yeah, exactly what I said. That we just changed the color of that car. That's
Watch
right
this
on board
onboard.
here. Yep.
Look how close of a call this is from the front and from the back.
Oh,
Misses that up front. Now switch to the back. Look at that, man. And shout out Christian Hill with the perfect cut between shots.
Wow, that close.
Yeah, that close.
Nominated that for the move of the race so far.
So, obviously this eliminates the lead that Billy Brickley had of 3 seconds. That'd be what you maybe wanted there if you're Alan Duggar in that 15.
I think pit road was still closed. I'm not sure. I see lights, but we do have people coming down.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, the pit lights you see there are red. So I'm not too sure why they have not opened up pit road just yet. We had a lot of drivers, we had some drivers preparing to pit in, looked like they were committing. But now what would you do here at this point? Would you stay out or would you pit here with 10 laps to go in the stage? Because there's not going to be a lot of time. But how do you feel like the driver's tires are right now?
What did you say? Probably had like 26 laps green on those tires.
Yeah.
Roughly, give or take. And being so close to the end of the stage, might not get a lot of laps on them, but anybody that stays out, you know, they might risk getting run over. We'll have to see.
Pits are still closed. I'm not sure if Race Control has a command where
2 is out.
Yeah, where I don't know if they have a command in which they can open up pit road manually or not. They've turned off the caution lights though, so nobody will come in here. So reset your top 10 at the moment. Billy Brickley selects the bottom. He and Alan Duggar share row 1. Chris Essery and Steve Lamar on row 2. Daniel Best, Michael Kurgelek in row 3. William Lark, Danny Carpenter, row 4. Nate Pollard, Trevor Baxter round out the top 10. Biggest movers in the race so far, you've got Baxter up 8, Judd and Osborne up 7, and Carpenter up 6. There'll be 9 laps to go in stage 1 when we come back to the green flag.
See how Brickley fires off. He was starting to fall back just a little bit there on that later part of the run. Let's see how his tires are after this quick cycle.
Brickley fires back to green and immediately clears Alan Duggar there on the restart. Now let's see how his drive-off is in the corner. Now this is where if you're Duggar, you just want to try and follow the 69's line and see where you could be better at than him. Turns here at Iowa can be slightly different at times here too, Jerry, as we still watch the double file racing. Turn 1 into 2 is tight, but turn 3 into 4, they actually have a little bit of a wider arc, because you'll see some drivers try and take the risk of driving deep into turn 3, which is what Lamar just did for a moment into turn 1.
Steve Lamar and that number 18 black machine there. Yeah, he's driving it really hard. Oh, whew, really tight racing, door to door like always.
Yeah, that could have been dangerous there, especially being that up front near the pack. Oh, again, Lamar, very shallow in the corners. That's where he's got to be careful about that, and he's up in the wall there off of turn 2.
These guys are duking it out right here, but look right there in front of him. Duggar's kind of not getting too far away. S3 gets a really good exit. Can he clear him here into 1 and 2? We'll have to find out. Yes, he does.
S3 with the 3rd spot. 6 laps of race to go here in stage 2. Excuse me, stage 1. Brickley with an 0.8 of a second lead. Meanwhile, Kurjaluk in 5th. Final stage point would go to Nate Pollard in the 10. He's racing James Nesta for that one bonus point that could make or break in the regular season standings and could set you up in the playoff seeding perhaps, as long as you make the top 16. 5 to go here in stage 1. Nesta tries another shallow entry, but just S3 looks very good in corner entry compared to exit.
Definitely seeing it balance out and doing a good job keeping the clean air on his nose with the Duggar machine in front of him. Running kind of that similar line, trying to keep that right side headlight out and in that clean air. Running up just about a half a lane higher. Not able to make that pass as the laps are winding down here in this first stage. We're 3 wide back here for the top 10.
We got one up in the wall as well. That was, I believe, Pollard in the 16, and Sanchez after that first yellow. You see the right front fender damage on his 22. Now has the final spot, and he's driving like a possessed teenager. 3 wide in front of them with the 28 of Carpenter up in the middle. 3 laps to go here in stage 1. Next time by, pits will close here. And again, we're still watching the Lamar S3 battle, which, speaking of which, the 18 has gone up to 3rd, but it's just a hornet's nest off the corner.
So many battles here throughout the field in the top 10 nonetheless. Coming to the end here, you got Daniel Best, Kurjaluk side by side. Behind them, you got Baxter and Sanchez side by side. Carpenter, and you got Sanchez side by side. Oh my goodness.
That was William Lark correction that lost it off for turn number 2, and that cost him a top 10 spot. Hugh Brown takes it away. Final lap underway in stage 1. They're racing like there's a spot in the playoffs on the line, or a spot for the win.
We'll see if Lark in that number 10 can capitalize, or excuse me, get back.
Rewind Sanchez. Oh, they touch. This is the good stuff, and we got one up on the wall sideways. That's Hewitt in the 11. Meanwhile, off for turn 4, Billy Brickley, the stage 1 winner, side by side for many spots across the line. Caution flag waves for the stage end. Duggar 2nd, Lamar 3rd, S3 4th, Best in 5th, Sanchez 6th. I don't know who got 7th on back. I believe it was Baxter 7th, Kurjaluk 8th, Carpenter 9th, and Hugh Brown in 10th. Man, oh man, stage 1 did not disappoint. That's early in this one. Billy Brickley, your stage 1 winner. Let's step aside here is pit stops coming up next here. It's Door to Door Cup Series action on Maconi Entertainment. You can just...
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need: Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Stage 2 set to begin here for the Door Cup Series, brought to you by Kinetic Gaming, official esports team of the Door Simracing League. Thomas Freeman stayed out. Daniel Best won the race off pit road. He took 2 tires, and Billy Brickley on back took 4 tires here. And in-race chat definitely saying that tires are going to be at a premium here this evening. This track, known as the fastest short track on the planet, definitely lives up to its name with that progressive banking. 7/8 mile oval designed with the help of NASCAR Hall of Famer Rusty Wallace. And you can see the influence here. Fast entry points, sweeping corners, and aggressive braking zones, Jeremy.
And another unique feature to this track, in my opinion, is the outside wall is no concrete, just straight safer barrier on the outside wall there. And I think that's a pretty unique feature. And this has been some great racing here in this first stage league, living up to the name. Lots of door-to-door action. Excited to see how stage number 2 goes here as the pace car lights have been extinguished, Marty.
I believe, correct me if I'm wrong here, the first NASCAR track ever to have safer barrier around everything. I'm not talking about like just safer barriers around the corners. I'm talking about corners, straights, you name it, they put the safer all around it. This was over 5 years before Kyle Busch's accident that led to safer barrier everywhere. So, front row will be interesting to watch closely here as they have some scuffs. Second row on back, 4 fresh Goodyear Eagles. Keep an eye on that inside line and see if anyone takes a chance to go 2 for 1 as we get set to begin stage number 2. It ends at lap 100. Freeman brings the field back to the green flag. Here we go for stage 2. Duggar nearly found a way past Billy Brickley. Oh, hang on, Billy Brickley! Around and hard in the wall! The dominant car so far. The driver, you could have said, give him the checkered flag. He's done. He is done. Now your leader is Thomas Freeman. Alan Duggar looks to be the quickest car on the track, and he wants the lead off in 2.
And he will take it as they're battling 3 wide there. Through turns 1 and 2, your leader, number 15, Alan Duggar, outside looking in. Could he get himself into the playoffs tonight? Heavy contact there for the Billy Brickley machine.
Up to the second spot, Daniel Best, meanwhile, through to third on the 2 tires. It looked like for Billy Brickley, though, that situation off for turn 2, I think that was cold tires.
Or just not a lot of experience tonight with a track in front of them. And it was very close to being able to save it. Just a lot of momentum traveling to the bottom of that track. So Billy Brickley out here trying to maintain what he can, the damage he can, try to stay in the lead lap towards the end of the stage. Get that damage fixed.
Brown trying to go around the outside of Kurjalak for the 6th spot. He's up 10 positions at the moment. And SBR looking very good early. Duggar leading, and Brown trying to crack the top 5 here.
New Brown, one of those drivers we've been watching week in, week out, getting better and better. Here's that replay of that 600 Brickley. You can see there's a car in front of him and just gets loose off him too, and oh, that left front takes an extremely heavy hit.
That is heavy.
So there's lots of things bent, including his steering wheel not being very straight and arrow and ugh.
Brickley somehow still driving that ride. I'll give him props that he doesn't even have a meatball flag, but you know, with the weight damages with the next gen car, it's going to be very tough to recover from that.
Praying for a caution fest. That's what he's doing right now.
That's what he needs. He needs a caution fest, and he needs to have. I think without question, he'll have mandatory repairs to make on pit road, even without a meatball flag. But because, you know, remember this track, you know, these guys are clocking off 23 second laps, about 50 seconds all around under caution flag, half the pace. Really gonna need to go down pit road many times in order to get back to 100%. We got a challenge though for the race lead here. Steve Lamar has cut it down to a car length on Alan Duggar. Duggar, remember, looking for a playoff spot in. Believe he would have it in right now as things were stand. Steve Lamar trying to get the race lead though.
That black number 18 really putting the pressure on Duggar. Great battle for the lead. You can see right there number 5 with Daniel Best in third. Kind of in a little bit of an island, not too much pressure from behind as he watches the leaders kind of start to get ready to battle. I guess not look too much far of that 4 of S3. Maybe he's starting to figure it out here.
Lamar making his second start of the season. Actually, if I'm looking at things correctly, yeah, he didn't complete all the laps. He finished last in his debut. Now look at him. Also part of the SBR clan. Battling for the race lead with his teammate Alan Duggar. Challenges downstairs where Papa hides the wine. Kenny grabbed the lead off for turn number 4. Not just yet. Duggar hangs on for now.
Duggar doing a great job using that defensive line on the top. Then kind of just trying to take the air away on that number 18 machine. See if he can maintain, maybe you let him use it, make him use his stuff up.
Daniel Best is hoping the teammates race each other very hard. We'll just have to see what happens here.
One driver that's kind of got me a little bit shocked right now is running in 21st, Trevor Baxter in that number 12. Not very used to seeing him running towards the back of the pack.
Yeah, Baxter in the 21st position. Not sure what happened to him that made him fall all the way down. Well, I mean, he started back at the 18th spot, so it's been a very quiet start for him so far on the day. But still watching that race for the lead. It's the closest battle we have for a spot. Actually, as I say that, Terry Orr just passed William Hewitt for the 14th spot. It opens up some ground. Behind them, Billy Brickley trying to recover. Now around the outside of Tommy Osborne in the race for 18th.
Not blistering laps, but trying to get past as many cars as he can right now. As you can see, Steve Lamar, though, maybe getting a little bit tight in the center of their turns right now with that dirty air from that 15 of Duggar. Man, he is right there to pounce. If a little slip up by that 15, he'll get there.
Lamar just trying to play patient here. Remember, we saw him late in stage 1. Go for aggressive moves, some shallow entries. But, you know, this is a racetrack where you have to hit your marks every lap, Jeremy. If you miss the entry by just a half car length, you could be maybe at a point where on a restart you're 3 wide off the corner.
It'll happen very quickly at this track. As we got Lamar, oh man, it looks like he was trying to sneak his nose down there, thought otherwise, but I believe that 18 might have the speed to get to the lead now.
You know, something that I don't think we've yet to talk about, and I don't know if it's still there with this the repaved bottom, but drivers talk a lot about the bump into turn number 1. where the car can unload just enough to make braking tricky, especially on older tires. That could be a calamity spot when we get into maybe a long run tonight.
A lot of dirty air for some of these drivers that are trying to make passes. Right there, you can see Terry Orr in the 54 all over the back bumper of that pink number 11. Oh, Terry gets really loose there on the exit of 2. That's going to give a little bit of breathing room to that number 11. I believe that's the current battle for 14th and 15th.
I remember Hewitt had that close call under the first caution flag of the race. Up 6 spots, started 20th, currently right in the 14th position. You know, give credit to Thomas Freeman as well here, Jeremy. Even while staying out here, yeah, battle for the race lead. Here comes Lombard. They are side by side in the corner.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
You're good. Nice defense from Duggar. Jeremy, you talked about it earlier. That high side on the asphalt, that strip of asphalt, that's the defensive line here.
It looks like Duggar's doing a great job of kind of having a later apex and making that 18 lose all aero on that front nose on the center of the turns. It's hard for the 18 to do something different because, well, the 15 is kind of running that preferred lane, and it's hard to run right behind these cars, as you can see. He might be using up his front tires, but if we get a pit cycle, we can get there. I don't know. He's doing a good job getting an entry. He just can't get off the exit. It's just hard on that bottom to get the power back down, and it's just hard to pass these next gens, and we will see if Lamar can make it happen, though. He's definitely putting the pressure on.
You know, as we're watching this, I was going to mention, give credit to Thomas Freeman on this run right now. Remember, he stayed out to take the lead to begin stage 2. Currently right in the 7th position, so been not bad. And something to keep in mind too, he pitted on lap number 28. He could go through, oh, hang on, Freeman got sideways off for turn 4 and saved it. But he could go the entire distance without a pit stop here in stage 2, unless we get a yellow where he could consider pitting for some fresh tires and try and match the stint of everyone else. Because the fuel window here is about 80 to 85 laps. We're going to end lap 100, so it would be about 5 to 8 laps before he would run out of fuel. So he's going to take the risk here. If it works out well where he could get some stage points, that's a big payoff.
Yes, I mean, I got to say, I'm pretty impressed with how that 17 of Freeman is doing, keeping himself in the top 10. Switzer behind him just got really loose off of 2. The battle spreading out just a touch, I think, but I believe 3rd and 4th may be creeping into this as well.
Best and Essery in the 3rd and 4th spots. Freeman trying to lock his way in via points today. Again, Daniel Best locked in. Chris Essery not in the top 20 in the standings. They race for the 3rd spot on the track. Better exit by the 4 that time off the corner. And so we'll see if Essery can get a chance here to move up into a podium spot.
I think what we're seeing right here, Marty, is that 15 line.
Kurchelak,
oh,
somehow keeps it off the inside wall for now. Oh my gosh! What a save, Kurchelak! Just a slight little smooch to the tire barrier. Holy moly, caution flag waves.
Did not think the yellow would come out, but the race control might have thought he was going to come up in the track there, so that does make sense.
He didn't lock the brakes up one bit. He just dirt tracked it, just drifted it to the right, and wow. That may be a candidate for save of the year. This is going to make things interesting now with 30 to go here in the stage if you pit or if you stay out. Pits are still closed for right now, but Freeman's got no choice but to come in, so we'll have to start from the back for entering a closed pit.
Looks like a bunch of the runners towards the back coming down pit road.
Freeman, Orr, Kurchelak, Burchett, Brickley, Sanchez all coming in.
Brickley, one of those drivers we know, was definitely waiting for that Yellow to come out and get a lot of this damage fixed. Looks like Brickley playing it smart here on pit road, not taking any tires, trying to get as much damage time fixed as he can.
Yeah, when you see the pace, when he sees on his black box the pace car go across the start finish line, that's when he's got to go.
Try to sit there as long as he can, get every second possible. Let his iRacing crew get to work.
And luckily, there's a big benefit for having pole position, pit stall 1. He can take as much time as he wants to. Now he's back out onto the racetrack and has some damage, but not all the damage obviously repaired.
Kerjelak rejoined the field right there in 20th. Just close moment. Well, Marty, what do you think Lamar's going to do here to potentially get around Duggar? We know that the usually second place is kind of at a disadvantage on these restarts. Do you think somebody behind him give him some help?
I think, I don't know if it's going to take help. He's going to be on the outside for this restart, and we could definitely see a clear here on the inside when we get back to the green flag. So I'm not too sure what will happen here, but we'll have to wait and find out.
This has been some great racing here. Drivers have had their hands full. As you can see, a couple of self-spins.
So lights are off here. We come back to green. There will be 25 laps to go here in stage number 1. Duggar and Lamar, row 1. Best Essery, row 2. Brown and Switzer, row 3. Carpenter and Lark, row number 4. And Pollard and Nesta round out your top 10. Duggar the right to fire first here on this restart as we prepare to come back to the green flag.
Duggar makes it happen. Best trying to sneak his nose in there though.
And it may work out for the 5. Low line, the place to be, but the risky part, exit of turn 2, which is what cost Brickley on that restart. Lamar with the advantage. He's got the second spot for right now. Best has to do battle with Essery for P3. Essery through. Best the big loser on this restart, and he cuts off Brown in that 35 to make sure he stays in that 4th position.
Top 10 almost single filed out here.
Yeah, you got Nesta, Pollard there door to door for 9th on the track. Off the corner, Pollard edging out by a bumper over Nesta at the line for the 9th position. And once that happens, the field should just be just about spread out single file here. Now we're going to have to keep our eye on if the 30 laps of fresher tires will play benefit. Kerjelak the first one on the fresher Goodyear Eagles. He's in 15th right now, about to go past Tommy Osborne for the 14th spot. We'll have to see if he can play out where he can finish in the top 10 or maybe even get a lot more spots. But the risk you play with this here, Jeremy, though, is you're using up another set of tires, and you have 5 sets throughout this race as they're beating and banging down the back.
It's going to be a gamble, that is for sure. Up to 12. Even running in traffic, Kerjelak one of the fastest cars on the track. We'll see how that pans out lap after lap, though. It gets harder to pass cars the more you move up to the field.
Brown and Switzer side by side. 5th off in turn 4. Hang on, Switzer up on the wall. No contact there one bit. Switzer just got to tap it sideways halfway down the back and just absolutely lost to that safe barrier. Luckily there to help him out. And Besson and Brown go at it now for the 4th position. Brown now up 12 spots, the biggest mover in the race.
One driver, though, not messing around, trying to get to this beehive, is that 41 with Kerjelak. Trying to take these fresh tires. There's a 3 wide in front of him. Oh, Kerjelak right into that bee's nest. He's trying to get all 4 spots. He's in the top 10 getting stage points.
Trying to go for a 3-for-1 discount. That'd be a Chili's Tripper Dipper combo.
Putting those fresh tires to work.
Most has it right there. She gets past Carpenter 1/2 the second spot. Now Kerjelak has pitted twice. He would have, I believe, 2 sets left because he got 5 sets of tires, 4 plus what you have on the green flag. If not, you got 5 extra sets. So I mean, 3 sets left. You'd have one after stage 2 and then one between. But you want to make sure you're prepared just in case there's that late race caution too later on, Jeremy.
Never hurts to want to try to have that extra set, but sometimes to beat the leaders, you got to do something different. And that's Kerjelak's memo right now. I got to say, I'm pretty impressed. He's going to get himself in the top 5 right here.
He's 3/10 quicker than the leader, Alan Duggar, last time by.
While passing cars.
4 wide behind them in the back of the field. Freeman gets sideways hard in the inside wall at the end of the safer barrier. No caution flag as he keeps it straight. We stay green. Kerjelak now up to 4th. He is about a second behind. Caution flag waves. And I believe it had to do with the Freeman accident. If not, it was for Terry Orr. No, it's Josh Sanchez in turn 4.
Yeah, I believe Terry thought that Freeman was coming up the track and might have spooked him, turned right. Unfortunately, Sanchez's machine was out there.
I don't think personally that's the yellow you want if you're Kerjelak, because I think a lot of drivers have just taken some notes in their mind that 30 laps of fresher tires will pay off. So it'll be interesting to see here with 15 to go on the stage, who comes in, who stays out. I'd have to see if the top 3 decide to come down pit road here. Duggar's looking into it. He's thinking about it. Another look here with Sanchez in the 22. Nope, that's back to live, I believe. And you see the right side damage. It looks like everyone's going to stay. Nope, we got one taker. Switzer down pit road. Hewitt, Osborne, Brickley, Nesta. They want the 15 laps of fresher rubber or something like that to see if they can grab the stage points.
I guess it's probably safe to say, huh, that Kerjelak's going to be our stage winner unless something freakish happens.
I would not. The cat's not out of the bag just yet, Jeremy.
I got to say, I'm really impressed
He is
with
fast,
how
though.
making those tires work.
Yeah, it turned out well. Very good call, though. We may have something here for Sanchez. Here's a look. There, went up the hill to 54 and the 22. Obviously wasn't intentional, but yeah, 54 just came up into him.
We'll re-rack them and restack them for these final few laps of this stage. I think it'll be about 12 to go, I think, when we go to green.
I believe that is the case. Actually, the lights are still on, so we'll have 11 to go at most. Will we take the restart here? Do have
This
some...
will be, yep, 12 to go here.
If you're watching us on Maconi Entertainment, make sure you hit the subscribe button if you like what you see, and make sure you turn on those notifications as well. And checking in chat, Paul Danino checking in, rooting for Steve Lamar.
What's up, Danino? How's it going?
Billy Brickley was also checking in at one point earlier, so yes, we'll be 11 to go when we take the green flag. Duggar and Lamar, row 1. S3 Kurgulak, keep an eye on him with the freshest tires amongst the top 10. Brown and Lark, row 3. Best Carpenter, row 4. Baxter Pollard, row 5. Breinberg, shot restarts 13th. 30 laps of fresher tires compared to the leaders, but watch out for William Hewitt, 14th, with a lot of fresher rubber, trying to crack the top 10 before the end of stage 2. Duggar set to fire here in the restart zone. Back to the green flag.
Kurgulak right to the top. Gonna get around Essery for third.
Can he get
Now set
underneath
to
though
side.
on Lamar?
I think the top's where he wants to be. He's gonna make it look real easy.
Very good on corner exit. Kurgulak, and he crisscrosses the 15 of Duggar. Nearly 3 wide for the race lead. 10 to go. Lamar doesn't force the issue. Kurgulak out to the point for the first time tonight.
And if I'm Kurgulak right here, I'm just gonna back up my turns. I know my tires are really good. I want to make sure I've got good tires when we get ready to start this next stage. Once he decides to pit, but I try to take these tires as long as I can.
Kurgulak opened up the gap to 3/4 of a second now over Alan Duggar. Looking at drivers with the freshest tires. Look at Sanchez, 4 wide and 3. Sanchez is through in the 11th position, near contact with the 99 of Hecklin. Daniel Best, final car with stage points. 8 laps to go here in the stage. In front of them, Carpenter, Lark, Brown, all just outside the top 5. Best hanging on for dear life with Sanchez right behind him. How do you try and hang on here, Jeremy, with 7 laps to go?
And you don't got one car, we got 2 cars side by side behind you. Door to door, trying to make the pass, trying to take you 3 wide almost. Hagland in that 99 blue and black machine to the outside of that 22 of Joshua Sanchez's white and red. Pink number 11 right behind them is William Hewitt. The battle for the 10th and final 1 stage point is on. We've got 6 laps to go.
Carpenter staying right there, though, on the back of Lark in the race for the 5th spot. Contact there. 1 up in the wall, the 99 of Hecklin. And up the hill went Lark, and the town hill loses a plethora of spots. Drops down to 9th. Wholesale.
This isn't gonna work.
Hard to the wall goes Hewitt. Pollard also collected. Caution flag waves. 5 laps to go in stage 2.
3 wide was not going to work on exit. You can see that.
No, it did not. That was a mess. I will have to see if this is going to end stage number 2. But Pollard up into Best, and the 11 car of Fuel was collateral, and he goes head on. That one he could not avoid. Saw the 99 spin as well, Thomas Hegland.
What a battle. Was on for sure.
And we're talking to see if this is going to be the stage here. Here's a look at what happened, aerial shot.
It was like Lark just had that break of momentum. Hewitt, I'm not sure at all. I think Lark just wasn't ready. I don't think Lark was ready for them to be 3 wide. 2 cars on his inside did not give enough room.
How about Daniel Best avoiding this? And we are hearing, hang on a second. Waiting to hear about this as they pit. This will be the end of stage 2, and so Kurtulek will pick up the Stage 2 victory here, as most of the field pits except for the two that pitted on lap 86, some that pitted on 86, James Nesta and Tommy Osborne. Now they'll have the disadvantage when it comes to the tires here. Race off of pit road, Alan Duggar, followed by Kurtulek, Steve Lamar third, Chris Essery fourth, and Danny Carpenter in fifth. So Kurtulek wins the stage here. We'll step aside, take a break. When we come back, stage 3. It's door-to-door racing action on Maconi Entertainment.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Stage 3 set to begin, and we go green here on lap number 101. 128 laps, stage 3 here. Pace car is in. James Nesta, the leader. He stayed out. Duggar on back, pitted for 4 tires. We're back to green.
Nesta with a black flag right away after that start.
Looks like he may have jumped the restart there. And Nesta, hopefully the field's aware, he's got to come down pit road. And the 18 of Lamar gets into him, a close call, and Nesta misses the pit road.
Yeah.
Came in way too hot, and that's just going to lose so much more time.
Yeah, it's going to make Lamar pretty unhappy too, losing all that track position. I'm not sure if he was calling it on the radio or not, but it did not work out for James Nesta. Trying to get down to that inside just was not wide enough.
But Lamar down to 4th. Essery, meanwhile, challenges Kurtulek, who took it to his advantage for second, one way in the grass, and Ronald Judd did some lawn mowing. Keeps it going. We stay under the green flag, but we're still watching second. Here comes Lamar. He may go 2 for 1 this time. Past Kurtulek for the 3rd spot. Kenny grabs second, not just yet. Essery, meanwhile, wants the lead on Alan Duggar off for 4. Oh, they touch, hang on, and he goes! And the wall, caution flag waves.
That is not going to sit well with that number 15 of Alan Duggar right there.
It's a tough deal there for Alan. It looked like he was just trying to play defense. I don't know. Let's get another angle of it. As he was coming down, they were side by side, and they just slightly rubbed, and Duggar lost it going into the corner. check what we have here for you on our replay. Aerial shot should give us the best look at what happened between the top two. So yeah, best run to S3 obviously. Yeah, looks like Duggar just came down just
I don't
a
know if
little
it
bit.
was, not sure if S3 was trying to maybe just not give Duggar a very good entry line, and Duggar maybe not expect him to be as high as he was.
Let's ride on board. Oh, never mind. Correction. Sorry, we're back to live. Duggar down pit road. The damage not too bad though off the 15. I don't see anything cosmetic. And race control says that's a racing deal. That's what I was thinking too at the same time. It looked to be a racing accident too.
Definitely close, tight racing, like it is here each and every week. Iowa proving to be a very tough short track here tonight. Lots of close action. First time tonight as well, as our track is under 100 degrees. Looks like we're starting to see quite a bit of shade all the way around. Definitely going to pick up the pace of this race.
Hopefully that'll bring the speeds up, that's for sure here. So while we are under caution, hey, Jeremy, where's our next race next week?
Yes. The home track of Watkins Glen International. Oh, is it our?
Yep.
Sorry.
Our home track. And you and I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, we're calling 2 races that night. One obviously door-to-door next week, and I believe we got one in late morning, early afternoon too.
Not sure if I'll be there for the morning one, but I'll definitely be there for the door-to-door racing league, as we'll be here next week. Watkins Glen, August 10th, 8 p.m. right here on Maconi Entertainment. You can catch all this door-to-door action right here.
Yeah, so we'll be working the door-to-door show. I'm actually working with Ron on the Racers Elite Special, so don't miss out on that. All things you can watch here on Maconi Entertainment. Who doesn't love Watkins Glen? My favorite road course in the Cup Series. Probably everyone's favorite road course in the Cup Series. So, but lights are off the iRacing pace car, coming back to the green flag. Had some takers on lap 105, mostly for damage. Duggar obviously having to come in. Pollard, all these yellows though, speaking of which, behind Pollard, yellows are sort of helping out Billy Brickley a little bit because he's continuing to pit to repair damage. He's still on the lead lap. He'll restart, I believe, in the 13th spot when we come back to green.
Putting in a lot of extra work, trying to finish off the night after being so dominant there at the beginning part. Final stage getting set to get underway. We should have about 120 laps to go once we go green.
So we've got a new leader here this evening. It is Chris Essery in the 4. Steve Lamar to his outside. Back up through the gears once again at Iowa.
S3 with a good start. No black flags for him as Kurjalak sends it in there really deep, trying to get to his back bumper. Cannot get there. Best all over the back bumper of Lamar there for 3rd.
Top 5 all single file here on this restart. Sanchez Carpenter battling for 6th. Sanchez has had some damage he's taken throughout the night, and he's right in that spot. Burchett in the wall, running 8. Alan Duggar trying to rebound. Luckily, no. Oh, trouble for the 16 of Pollard. Off the bumper of Billy Brickley, and we're back to caution again. Cautions breeding cautions here in the heartland of Iowa. This is an interesting look here. We also get a second car also involved too. The 54-4 trying to avoid it, caught the apron at the same time. Look at what happened with Pollard. Watch the 69 Billy Brickley right behind Pollard. Look how many car lengths he's coming in from behind. Oh, no, correction. I'm sorry, wrong one. Let's see if this is it here. Look how many car lengths he's behind. Is this? Nope, this isn't it.
There's a car that's on the wall right
That
there.
was the That was the last yellow with Duggar. We want the following yellow. I don't know if this is it right here. This may be it. Yep, this is it. Look how deep he goes in. Look how many car lengths he's from back. He thought he could fit the hole there, I would guess, and just got into Pollard, I would have to guess. Because I know there was no history of anything beforehand. So, under caution here, once again at Iowa. Another back to live picture here. Terry Orr coming down pit road. You know, when you look at the pit strategy keys here, obviously we've talked about tires wearing faster than we think. Obviously the clean air up front here is huge, but tire fall off means too you can't ignore the rubber here. But every caution here at the same time is really a big chance to reset, and the cautions, the wild card is really when the cautions fall here, Jeremy.
And there's been quite a few of those here tonight, and trying to predict when that's going to happen has been probably the hardest part. We've gotten a few laps into a run, we've gotten a lap too, we've gotten quite a ways into a run, and it's just been one of those nights where the track seems to be biting at quite a few of these drivers here, especially off of turn 2.
Iowa Speedway in Newton, Iowa, 30 miles east off Des Moines, right off Interstate 80. Mentioned it too before we take the green flag. Big month for racing in Iowa. Obviously, this coming weekend, the Sprint Car Knoxville Nationals. I went there a couple years ago. It's a bucket list race. Got to go to it sometime. It's a race in a small village of Knoxville, and it's just it's like the Indy 500 of dirt track racing. That's what I would consider it. It's just unbelievable throughout the week. You have to go. It's well worth it. All right, set for the restart. Chris Essery, Michael Kurdzielak, row 1. Steve Lamar, Daniel Best, row 2. Hugh Brown, Joshua Sanchez, row 3. Danny Carpenter, Brian Burchett, row 4. Alan Duggar and Tommy Osborne rounds out your top 10. Set for the restart here. 114 laps go up on the board. Bad restart there from one of the SBR cars. Believe that was Hugh Brown. We're back to green. Essery holds serve. Lamar Kurdzielak battle for the second spot. Can the 18 take it off in turn 2? Yes, he can.
18 of Lamar kind of been in the driver, been in second, almost the second half, the whole half of the second half of this race, as he now sets his sights on that number 4 car. Really good entry, just struggles, I think, to the center. We'll see if he's made any adjustments on these last few stops.
This race has been crazy. Oh, hang on, we got one sideways. 29, James Nesta with a great save on the back stretch. No, I've been about to say, it's crazy to see how our 2 fastest drivers in the field have had issues in this race. Obviously, Billy Brickley coming back to on the first restart of the race, lost it off for turn number 2, caught the inside wall. Alan Duggar spinning about 2-3 cautions ago. He went around, just caught the safer barrier with the right side, but didn't do a lot of damage. Duggar's rebounded. He's passing Hugh Brown up into 7th.
Battle for the lead. Getting really tight.
Lamar right there on the quarter panel of Vessery for the top spot as we are past the halfway mark here in this race at Iowa. New leader, the 18 of Steve Lamar. First time he's been out at the point today. And they are each gone. from Kurjaluk and Daniel Best, who are drag racing into one for third, and Kurjaluk lets Best have it. Alan Duggar also in this battle as well here. Sorry, Jeremy. And remember, he's got 8 laps of fresher tires compared to the front 5 because of that accident.
I must say, I'm pretty impressed with that pass, too. Steve Lamar made it look really easy, so I'm not sure if Essery just gave it to him or if Lamar is just that much faster. But Lamar out in that clean air now.
Duggar for another spot here on Sanchez. See if he can take it off for turn 4. Yes, he can. Alan Duggar up to the 5th spot. Kurjaluk is next. Behind them, 2x2 off for turn 2. Brown Osborne on back. Beltami up 16 spots. He's been near the back the entire race. Now inside the top 10.
How about that? Danny Carpenter right there on the outside looking in, trying to crack his name back into the top 10. Nate Pollard been kind of the driver right in that top 10 battle all night long.
Pollard pitted on lap 105 because of one of the prior yellows that he was involved in.
Oh, we lost Baxter.
Turn 1. Baxter, yeah, Baxter has been having internet issues throughout the race. He's been one of the more dominant cars. I believe which may have been involved in a wreck early today. I can't recall correctly. Let's go back to 4th here. Duggar around the outside of Kurjaluk this time.
Duggar wants that lead back, makes that pass from the outside.
Quickest car on the track, 1/10.5 quicker, actually 1/10 as a whole, quicker than the leader, Steve Lamar. That's a story to keep your eye on closely here throughout the rest of this one.
I have a feeling Duggar is not going to give that Essery machine a lot of room either when he gets there.
Probably not. We'll have to keep our eyes very closely on it when that happens. Pollard Haglund, 10th spot on the racetrack. Let's watch that closely. Haven't talked a lot about Haglund in this race. Couple of accidents he's been involved in tonight. And same with Pollard. They've been having an up and down race so far. But field mostly spread out here. All single file around the 7/8 oval, which has had one up in the wall for a moment. That was Sanchez in the 22.
He's been involved in a couple of incidents here tonight, some not of his own doing though.
Give Kurjaluk credit though, he's still trying to challenge Duggar for this 4th position, not giving up, a little high off in turn 2, loses some real estate.
He does really good all the way to the center of the turn, but just cannot get off on the exits right now.
Meanwhile, Lamar, your race leader here. The 7/10 of a second lead on Chris Essery. Next time by, we'll have 100 laps to go, about 20 laps before the pit window opens. And let's talk pit strategy while we're at it. I mean, I know we're long away from pit strategy here, but are you willing here to possibly, if you want to go for it, to pit when the window opens up? Are you willing to trade short-term speed for long-term balance here? How are you looking at that, Jeremy?
Just, let's see, 100 laps to go. Right now, I don't know how Alan Duggar's doing it, but he's got good pace. Kind of holding steady right there in 4th. But he's been pretty dominant all night, but Steve Lamar finally got that clean air. We'll see if anybody has anything for Steve Lamar now.
If I'm looking at things with the way the tire fall off is, I really want that balance. I mean, look what we saw with Kurjaluk with the fresher tires. We're seeing this with Alan Duggar with the 8 laps of fresher tires he's had on the long run. I'd forget about the undercut. I'd try and pit last and try and get that long run speed.
But go as long as you can on that set of tires. And boy, well, the drivers are going to have a lot to think about. Knock on wood, if we get green flag stops Not sure how many of these drivers were expecting green flag stops tonight. That could play a pretty tricky task on its own.
Not our longest run of the race we've had yet so far. We had that, I believe it was that 26, 27 lap stint we had to begin this race before the first yellow. And I tell you what, Duggar's actually lost a little bit of time here to Daniel Best, even with 8 laps of fresher tires. Kurdzielak stayed right on him, and this has also allowed Hugh Brown and Brian Burchett into the conversation in the battle for 4th.
Duggar did have to work pretty hard to get around quite a few cars. Probably wasn't very easy on those tires trying to make those passes, so maybe paying a little bit of a price right now in this part of the run. We'll see how it plays out here later in the run, but yeah, he has got a mirror full of cars.
And field all spread out here around Iowa. So that we normally see in a long run here, whether it be Cup Xfinity or trucks. Fun fact about this track as well, seats 30,000. The entire track, front to back, visible from every seat in the grandstands. It's a fan favorite for in-person viewing, from what I hear. Now, I don't know if that includes the haulers of the infield or not, but that's what I hear.
Definitely a track built for fans. I gotta say, I'm actually a pretty big fan of the core and start finish line. It's a nice little touch.
It's unique too. Well, Iowa Corn does sponsor the Cup Series weekend here at Iowa. So, you know, I got Cup and Xfinity both had great weekends at Iowa. You know, I do feel a little bad for IndyCar at Iowa because it used to be a great show. I loved watching the weekends, especially when Hy-Vee was sponsoring, like, because they had an entire festival weekend and an IndyCar doubleheader. But it just doesn't seem like that's the case anymore these days. Daniel Best, 3rd spot, under attack from Alan Duggar, Kurdzielak, and Hugh Brown. Let's see how this stands out. Do you wonder here maybe as well? Look at this run from Brown, meanwhile, past Kurdzielak for 5th. There is a spot for SBR possibly. Do you think that Duggar may have been saving his stuff potentially for this long run?
That has a little bit of that luck, or the 5 just backed up that much. Looking at Duggar's times, this lap, not too far off the leader, especially being in traffic. So he's definitely picked up the pace here.
Speaking of which, we are in lap traffic for, I believe, the first time in this race. It's very easy to get into some lap traffic here with how competitive the racing is. And again, the driver's time around 23-second lap times. You know, you're working traffic constantly. Unless you're the race leader, then you've got the clean air. And then, we had trouble with Sanchez off the track in turn 1. Sanchez running in the 7th spot at the time, or the 8th spot at the moment, and he lost it off of turn 4 and mowed the lawn of the infield. And so that's gone from bad to worse again for Sanchez. One of the drivers we talked about earlier tonight, Jeremy, who is looking for a playoff spot this evening. To 3rd spot, Best and Duggar side by side.
I feel like this part of the run to that top is more preferred. Daniel Best not going to put up too much of a fight, or Duggar is just that much faster right now as he powers around the outside. Put Alan Duggar into the 3rd and final podium position, as green flag pit stops are probably in the not too far future.
After that spin 2 yellows ago, now he has 1.6 seconds to catch up to Chris Essery. Remember, it was Essery that got into Alan Duggar in a racing deal. We'll have to keep all eyes on that. Meanwhile, Kurdzielak trying to take away a spot from Daniel Best. Did Best use up his tires possibly? He's losing a lot of lap time here at the moment. On board the rear end of Daniel Best in the 5.
That's a lot of pressure on your back bumper. You don't want to make any mistakes trying to hold them back. You know, coming into this final few laps before we go to a green flag, potential green flag pits stall. Ooh, almost got into his back bumper. Kurzak's been really good through the center, not good on exit. Really putting that pressure on, trying to get Daniel Best to make a mistake.
Very close call there in the battle for the fourth spot. And let's give credit to Kurzak here too, Jeremy, because let's remember he was running around mid-pack throughout the race, gambled with 30 laps of fresher tires in the middle of stage 2, and was able to get the win in that stage. That went at the same time as the leaders, and he's now running in the 4th position, so that absolutely paid off big time.
It's been great to see.
Still Steve Lamar, your race leader by a second. Remember last week at Indianapolis, made his first start, finished last in the race. Now he's gone from end to end on the leaderboard here. Let's watch another race on the track. Pollard and Hagelin. Good battle for 8th there in the center of 1 and 2. Also got William Lark trying to make a run on Danny Carpenter. Lark's had a wild day so far today. And William Lark has cracked the top 10 once again in car number 10.
Had that 3-wide incident there with the other cars. Just 3 cars going for space on the track that wasn't going to work out, and doing a great job rebounding from that.
All right, so we've got 80 laps of racing to go, and that window is open. Do you want the undercut? Or do you want the long run balance? We'll just have to see here. Pitting earlier could get you out on fresh tires and leapfrog the traffic possibly, but you're risking going too long on old tires late in this race. But maybe could we see if the drivers decide to pit late in this race, Jeremy? Do they maybe consider 2 tires, or if it's really that late, just fuel only for that track position?
Well, the way that, like I was going to say there earlier on, is I've been really enjoying all the different strategies going on, and like you said, there's even more opportunity for strategy here late in the game, especially knock on wood having this longer green flag run. I believe this should be our longest one of the night.
6. Again, tires wear faster than people think. Here at Iowa Speedway, pit road is basically a chessboard at Iowa. 1 wrong call, you're a lap down. 1 bold call, like we saw with Kurzak, and you might steal this thing or put yourself in a really good position to try and get a win. Back to Pollard Hagelin for 8th. Pollard with the advantage over Hagelin at the stripe by about a half a tenth. Got Sanchez off track once again, I believe. Nope, actually correction, that was from a minute ago. Duggar, meanwhile, has closed in the gap on Chris Esri by about half a little bit. Gap now at 0.7 of a second. Again, field continuing to work on lap traffic, race's longest run. Esri, Duggar keeping an eye on. Same with Best and Brown, battle for 5th.
See Pollard and Hagelin on your screen. That's 8th and 9th. Right there behind them is William Lark.
Yeah, remember, Lark has fresher tires compared to the 2 pitted under the last yellow flag. Lap 111 was his last pit lap.
Running about the same time as his leaders while in traffic.
Oh, Brown moved him. The Bristol bump and run at Iowa, and Hugh Brown takes away the 5th spot from Daniel Best.
Some drivers are more patient than others, I suppose you could say there. And I tell you what, Daniel Best did a great job hanging on to it, not losing too much track position.
This allows Brian Burchett to close in here as well. Now we thought we were gonna, I thought we could maybe see the bump and run here this evening, possibly. I didn't think we'd see it this early though on lap 156.
And not
like
for
when
the
you
lead.
when you do think short track, you do think bump and run, but I didn't think we'd see it at Iowa though. And you said too, Jeremy, thinking like for the race lead as well.
All right, producer. I think it's time to check in.
Here we
on
go.
That, second and third place battle.
Pit stops through at the same time, but yeah, let's watch the battle for a second though. Chris Essery, Alan Duggar, Michael Kurdzielak, Hugh Brown though, the first one on pit road, as he'll try to play the undercut.
Duggar right around that white line on the bottom.
Keep you posted on Brown's stop as he's on pit road right now. Let's see if there's any further contact.
Looks like Duggar's being smart, staying low, not trying to pinch him up. Essery doing a great job giving space as well. Looks like Duggar should be able to complete that pass here shortly.
Duggar is second, Brown out in 14.5. Burchett comes in from 6th. And same with Tommy Osborne, the 44, who slid him up. Oh no! Osborne at a stop in turn 4, and he'll go a lap down. Came in way too hot and was forced to tow it. Could not put it in reverse or else he'd risk getting DQ'd.
Man, we talked about it being tricky.
Tommy. Yep, the spanking is tough to come on pit road here at Iowa because pit road is basically like a blind corner here. At the same time, pit road comes closer than usual on the pit entry. Pollard, Lark, Hagelin, good race for the 6th spot. A 3-car battle there. Lark, again, remember the fresher tires. He's got about 6 laps on Pollard. Essery, meanwhile, has lost a pair of spots to Duggar and Kurdzielak. And as we're looking at the drivers that just pitted, Hugh Brown was the first to pit. He's got half a second on Steve Lamar. So that shows you what tires do here.
Man, so many drivers, it's tough to come to pit road. Anxious times for those drivers, especially that didn't practice that pit road entry. It is already showing its face being really tricky here tonight.
And Neil Best now on pit road in the 5. And again, window is open where the drivers can go the distance here. Terry Orr also on pit road. Some drivers, remember, have to keep track of how many tire sets they have left in case we do get that late race yellow, because you're going to want them here, Jeremy.
Don't want to be hung out dry without any fresh tires if we were to get a late race restart. Yeah, you might move up to the front, but you might be a sitting duck as well. Best on and off pit road here.
Area, exiting pit road. Chris Essery now comes in from the 4th position. Let's watch his stop closely and see where he comes out compared to the rest of the drivers that have pitted. The target we're watching is Hugh Brown in the 35, who was the first to pit.
Anxious times watching this all play out here from the broadcast booth. Looks like Hugh Brown's going to have a successful jump there on the Essery
Brown has passed Essery. So the undercut has paid off for Hugh Brown past Essery at least. Essery, though, will have the advantage with long-term balance. Will it pay off? It'll all always depend on how he can do past lap traffic. But Brown, last time by, cut off a full second on Steve Lamar.
Brown is moving. How long will it last? Just kind of up here watching the track right now. Not too much action, but everybody's just hoping for a yellow so they don't have to pit under green.
You know, that's something too I think we should bring up here. If we do get that yellow flag, right now Steve Lamar, the race leader, would trap some drivers a lap down at this point. However, though, the 11 drivers on the lead lap would have the fresher tires than the ones that would be forced to take the wave around.
I think right now the best thing for Hugh Brown in that 35 is to have more clean track in front of him so he can continue to lay down quicker and quicker lap times. You feel like a Superman, but it's so hard to navigate the slower traffic.
Brown, the first driver, a lap down. Turn 3 is Lamar. Turn 2 is Hugh Brown as things were to stand at the moment. Watching Lark Pollard still for third on your screen. Same with Hegland and Carpenter. And again, they've all yet to pit. Michael Reeves, the next to pit in the 00.
Hugh Brown still 1 second faster than our leader right now in clean air.
So maybe there's
Reeves,
a possibility. Sped on pit road on entry for what we're hearing likely. So like you were mentioning too here, Jeremy, this undercut for Brown. We could see Hugh Brown in the race lead by the time this cycles through, but obviously the big disadvantage you'll have is on this long run.
Right now he's king, but every lap that goes around, his tires are getting older, and their tires will be just that much better. So it's a fine line of it working out, but he's got that clean track, so he can set down some better laps right now to try to stretch out whatever advantage you may have once they get their fresh tires. I believe that was Hegland that just scraped the wall.
Kurgelek and Switzer, Lark, meanwhile, they're all on pit road. They'll try and get their car set up for the balance. We'll watch Kurgelek. I'm going to watch Kurgelek's pit stop very closely. And he's out at 15.10. Judd also just paid out at 15.5. William Lark starting to wrap his pit stop up. And he's out at 14.7. So the faster stops we're seeing right now in the last stops, Daniel Best at 11.6. Also seeing a 14.57 that came out of Hugh Brown. Josh Schwitzer at 14.4. So Brown with a very fast pit stop at the same time. Daniel Best and Brown each the two best right now on pit road during this long run here, Jeremy. That could pay off big here. Those seconds mean everything.
It's a good time to have a good pit stop, that is for sure. And watching the Hugh Brown machine, I think his tires might be already falling off just a little bit as he's getting ready to get himself unlapped. But watching like the driver of like Daniel Best, looks like he's starting to close in on him as well.
Lamar pitted on lap 97. He's 82 laps into this run. Alan Duggar, though, he's got some more free time to pit, and that's Hugh Brown right behind him, because he pitted on lap 105. We'd expect him maybe around 10, 20 laps from now. We'll just have to see.
Duggar really pushing it out. Lamar really pushing it out as well.
So now that Hugh Brown's got his lap back.
I just, yeah, I was going to get around Steve Lamar, but we're almost there.
Yeah. It seems likely, though, that Brown will get the race lead by the time we head to pit stops.
There's Steve Lamar coming to pit road.
So Steve is in. I'm going to watch his stop closely. Gary Hegland's also going to pit this time. Alan Duggar is going to pit this time by. So Duggar with the lead for a lap, then he'll pit. Watching Lamar's stop here. Oh, bad exit for Lamar, but an 11-1 stop, still very good. A 42-second pit, 42 seconds on pit road. Now we're going to watch Alan Duggar. Hugh Brown will basically control this race. Right now at the moment is Duggar on pit road. Brown makes the pass for the lead. All that's left to stop here is Danny Carpenter, so he'll have the freshest tires when he stops. Duggar on the left sides. This is a longer pit stop though for Duggar at a 14.9. Much longer on the pits though at a 46 seconds. Not what the 15 car wanted. And he lost time to Steve Lamar, the looks of it, and he lost some spots to Michael Kurgelak, who pitted 7 laps earlier.
Oh man, lots of strategies on the track right now. Laps are winding down. This is going to have a pretty close finish to whoever makes this strategy work out.
Strategy here at Iowa, or any track as a whole. Strategy's been the name of the game here in racing today. We saw in F1 at Hungary, we saw in the Cup Series today at Iowa, now we're seeing it door-to-door at Iowa. That could determine who wins this race at the end. So let's set the scene here for you. Hugh Brown and Brian Burchett, they are your top two when Carpenter pits. They've got the worst tires though of the bunch. Brown was the first to bring everyone on pit road. Then it's Daniel Bass, who's got a couple laps of fresher tires. Keep an eye though on Steve Lamar, who has 23 laps of fresher tires than Hugh Brown. He is currently in 6th at the moment, will be 5th. And he is a bunch of seconds, about nearly a quarter of a track behind Hugh Brown at the moment. Who are you liking here?
Man, taking a look at all this, I don't know who's going to come out with the win. So many different strategies on the track, especially not even just your car, but it's the lap cars too. As you can see, lap cars going around the number 35 Hugh Brown now. It's going to make his race a little more difficult to try to keep good lap times, to try to stay up against those cars with fresher tires.
Here we
So
go.
to answer your
Battle
question,
for third.
I don't have anybody.
Battle for third, Daniel Best. 4 laps, fresher tires. Then Brian Burchett takes the spot away. So Daniel Best moves up a spot. Next target, 3.6 seconds ahead is Hugh Brown. Looking at some other close races here. Steve Lamar closing in on Brian Burchett, so we'll keep the cameras on the 3. Lamar for 4th. And right now with his fresher tires of 17 laps, he is nearly 1 second quicker than Daniel Best. And he's over a second better than Danny Carpenter. Nate Pollard has crashed off for turn 2, but he's below the apron, so no caution for that. We'll stay under the green flag.
We're trying to get it re-rolling again, refired. Not so much damage was acquired there. Let's see if he comes down pit road. He does not.
Stay out.
Get it
That's
back up to
surprising. And Steve Lamar is through to third, now has 2 seconds to catch Hugh Brown here. And we've got 38 laps of racing to go here at Iowa. I think if this race goes green to checkered, Steve Lamar's in the catbird seat. Quickest car though on the track, both Lamar and Duggar, they're each running 23 4s. The rest of the field over 24 seconds. Danny Carpenter set to come in this time by, so he'll have the freshest tires of everyone who went nearly 100 laps. Now let's see how many spots he gains.
As you watch Steve Lamar here get ready to try to get around that Hugh Brown machine. You can see it, the flip did not work, but we'll see how many positions that net gains Hugh Brown there at the later end of this run. Steve Lamar around Hugh Brown for the lead.
There you go. The freshest tires played dividends for Steve Lamar. And the 18 out in front in Iowa once again. So Brown second, Best is third, Burchett fourth, Alan Duggar the top 5. Now, the second guy I'm keeping my eye on here is Alan Duggar, but he's got a lap of fresher tires than Steve Lamar, so it's going to be very tough. He'll likely need a caution flag to catch back up to him.
Knock on wood, the drivers have been doing really decent here on this long run, doing a good job getting down on the pit road and getting off. And I think just a couple drivers with penalties, and one driver I think missed pit road, but besides that, everybody did pretty dang good.
Yeah, they've all done a great job, that's for sure. So while we are at it, let's give you a full field rundown while things stand here. Steve Lamar, your race leader. He leads by 2 seconds on Hugh Brown in second. Daniel Best is third. And as I say that, Alan Duggar about to make the pass for the third spot. Daniel Best currently fourth, Brian Burchett in fifth, Chris Essery in sixth, Michael Kurgelek in seventh, William Larkin eighth, Josh Switzer ninth, and Thomas Heckman rounds out the top 10. Jeremy?
Just outside the top 10, you got the 11 of Joshua Sanchez. 12 just got past Danny Carpenter. Is the 69 of Billy Brickley, trying to manage with that damage. 13th, Danny Carpenter. 14th, Terry Orr. 15th is Nate Pollard. 16th, right now, James Nesta. These are all drivers a couple laps down here. 17th, Tommy Osborne. 18th, Ronald Judd. Michael Reeves is 19th. Thomas Freeman is 20th. Hewitt, I believe the last car running is in 21st.
And out of the race here, 22nd on back. Trevor Baxter, 22nd. Joshua Hyatt is 23rd. Brian Wasserman in at 24th. Daniel Best, meanwhile, just passed. Actually, correction. Brian Burchett trying to get past Daniel Best once again for the fourth spot. We'll see if he's going to be able to do that. Chris Essery, though, get up to both of them as well.
It's a lot of fun watching these drivers making their fresh tires work here during this run. It's just about on the timing. With 29 laps to go, did you pit at the right time? So far, Steve Lamar seemed to make that decision correctly. We'll see how that pans out for everybody else behind him.
Reminder, next week, Door Cup Series is back at Watkins Glen International. Don't want to miss on that road course race. We'll be on again at 8 p.m. right here on Maconi Entertainment. Big mess here off of turn 4, meanwhile. We're keeping an eye on Best, Burchett, Essery, Kurgelek, and more. A lot of drivers figuring out the tire situation in this case. That is tight there. Terry Orr off in turn 2. Just about slows up William Hewitt in the 11. And side by side for a spot, Kurgelek on Essery. 9 laps of fresher tires, Jeremy.
Making quick work in that number 41 machine of Kurgelek. But, oh, a great crossover there by Essery.
If Essery can make the run underneath.
Yeah, let's see, he's going to give him the position right here. As Hewitt, the lap car, tries to come and play with this fight. Hewitt right now running 21st, 11 laps down.
Hewitt just trying to get out of the way here at the moment. Battle for second getting interesting though. Hugh Brown, Alan Duggar. Remember Duggar? Lot fresher tires, 181 to 157. Let's watch this closely here. I think Brown's gonna let Duggar just simply pass him.
When you have the same logos on your car, that usually is how that one will play out. And Hugh Brown did a good job not fighting, so that way he doesn't lose a lot of time with cars behind him, trying to hang on to as many positions as he can. Laps winding down, just trying to net gain from when he came in.
The Duggar through into the second spot. Burchett, Kurchelak side by side off for 2 for fifth.
Best right there in front of him. That's also for position.
Absolutely. Give credit to both of them running very well.
Great side-by-side battling here between Kurchelak and Burchett.
Kurchelak is through up 6 spots to take away the 5th position. Should be able to have him clear off in turn number 4. Just had a change as well, 9th spot, Danny Carpenter. And remember, keep in line, he's got the freshest tires of the bunch. Carpenter up 5 spots now, but 20 laps to go. A lot of needs to make up 7 seconds on William Lark to get 8.
Almost running a second faster than the leader. So if this all pans out like this, he might be able to get maybe 3 or 4 more spots here towards the end of this race. Might work out quite well for Danny Carpenter with this later in the stage, later in the race pit strategy.
Daniel Best hanging on to 4th here. Kurchelak trying to make the attack.
Best with a mirror full of Kurchelak.
Get good. And again,
Sanchez right there in front of him.
And again, Kurchelak with that big gap. Oh, hang on there, Best with a snap, not just once but twice. And Kurchelak takes the win. I was about to mention, give credit to Kurchelak. He has been very key on the day. Up with that. Oh, hang on, Sanchez sideways, and this could bring the caution flag out, and it does with 18 laps to go.
Oh boy. Hope you got fresh tires.
We've got a new race now, everyone. And yes, just as what Jeremy said, if you got a fresh set of Goodyears, take him right now. This is not what Steve Lamar wanted, absolutely what Alan Duggar wanted. Here's a look at what happened with Sanchez, who was just having a horrific stage 3. Just simply loses it off for turn 4. And he tried everything to save it.
Yeah, I was say you're going to see him. He was trying his hardest to save that.
Everybody, let's see if anyone decides to gamble in the back. That's what I'm interested in. Leaders all in. Now do you gamble for 2 possibly this late in the race?
Oh, that is going to be one heck of a decision to make. I know one driver.
I think we're going to see it.
I think there's one driver that could probably make that decision. That's the number 28 of Danny Carpenter.
Everybody taking 4 tires. Lamar beats out Duggar on pit road. S3 loses 3rd here. Daniel Best comes out with that spot. 4th to Kurchelak. And 5th is Hugh Brown here at the line. Thomas Freeman is not on the lead lap. So he pitted out of line. So 13 laps of racing to go. This is going to get interesting. And something too, a couple of drivers deciding to stay out and take the wave around. Billy Brickley, Josh Sanchez, Terry Orr, Nate Pollard, James Nesta. Excuse me, not James Nesta, the others I mentioned in front of Steve Lamar. So they'll take the wave around and they'll basically just hope for another caution flag.
Got to gamble it. Got to try something here to gain some positions late in the race. We've had a lot of cautions breeding cautions. That was our longest run here tonight. Just about 10 laps of green flag racing left. We'll see how it pans out for these drivers that try different strategies throughout the race. See if they can catch another late race caution, throw some 4 fresh ones on, and grab a couple spots here late and then go in.
All right, the wave around cars will go around the pace car. So there will be 12 laps of racing remaining here when we come back to the green flag. Lamar and Duggar, row 1. Best Kurgulek, row 2. Brown Essery, row 3. Lark Burchett, row 4. Carpenter Haglin, round out your top 10. This is about to get interesting here. Drivers even on tires. It is not a race of pit strategy. It's a race of hitting your marks each and every lap. Trying to hope your opponent in front maybe makes a mistake as well. 12 laps of racing to go. Lamar and Duggar bring us back to the green flag. Here we go. And a great restart by the entire inside line. Not what Duggar wanted. Best through to the second spot. Oh, Duggar! Hang on! And that was basically the same spin he had when he had contact with Essery, this time unassisted.
All that hard work for Duggar gone just like that. I'll take a look at that replay. I'm not sure if it was the seam that got him loose or if it was just dirty air and cold tires.
Caution that those drivers that just took the wave around wanted, because they can pit, they can go for fresher tires here basically at this point. And we are hearing from race control that they are warning the drivers that you have to be tightened up. You cannot be laying back. And you see all those gaps, that's why, but this is the reason for caution. Watch Duggar in turn 1. Either he loses it obviously, but I want to watch an onboard of this. I wonder if he had a left sides on the fresh asphalt and the right sides on the abrasive asphalt. Because that can definitely mess you up. Let's take a look here.
Man, such heartbreak for Duggar.
He did go just going into corner entry, may have chittered the rear end.
Right there on the outside of those playoffs.
We'll have 9 laps of racing to go. Actually, maybe 8 laps to go when we come back to the green. All right, so they'll keep the lights on. 7 to go from the looks when we come back to green. A reminder, next week, Watkins Glen, 8 p.m. right here on Maconi Entertainment. Don't miss out.
This isn't just interesting here, Marty. This is going to be exciting. The way these drivers have been racing here, you can see Duggar was trying everything he could to make up that loss he had on that restart. Daniel Best will be now stuck in that second position. Can he do something on that outside? It's been a struggle here all night long for that second car. Steve Lamar is in the seat to win it with just these few laps to go.
The lights are off. 7 to go when we get the green flag. Lamar and Best, now your front row. Brown Kurgelak, row 2. Lark Essery, row 3. Burchett Carpenter, row 4. Hegland Switzer, row 5. Keep an eye on 11th on back. They just pitted for fresher tires. I don't know if they'll play a huge advantage, but obviously you never know. Green flag. And Lamar checks out. Bad entry there for Brown. Best sent it deep there in turns 1 and 2. That's what you got to do late in the race. Oh, trouble for Pollard in the back and went back to yellow again. And he tags the inside wall.
Gonna re-rack and restack them one more time here. I believe this will take us into a green-white checkered finish.
It's gonna be close. It's gonna be very close, but there is gonna be very little time. I think this is at this point we're gonna see a lot of contact being made. We're at that point. We're in the witching hour of this race. Replay.
So many cars around you, so much aero. Let's see, yep, just loses it on the exit. Like so many drivers have done here tonight. I think we do a good job though of keeping it off everything in the process. Oh, nope, I lied.
There.
Just a little kish. Sorry about that.
No! We tried again.
Another one.
So, ready for this restart again. I see if the lights come out this time. I don't think they will. They'll stay on. So this will be a 2-lap shootout at least. This should be in regulation. So that means we would have 2 attempts at a green-white checkered attempt. So if we do get a yellow flag before the white, we will get 1 more attempt. If we did go to overtime, it'd be 1 attempt and the yellow flag would have ended it.
So this should be a natural green-white check.
Exactly.
We've seen that inside for leader work each and every restart here. Daniel Best did a really good job of sending it in through 1 and 2 really hard that last time. We'll see if he learned anything and maybe try something different, get a little bit closer off the exit of 2, try to make something happen into 3 and 4. Let's see if these pace car lights get extinguished right here.
Come out this time. 1 to green. Now, how do you do this restart better if you're Daniel Best? How do you set this up? You're going
That's
for
a
the
good
win
question.
here, obviously, so...
That's why I'm in the broadcast booth, not in the driver's seat.
Lamar looking for his win in his series, in his second start with the series. Daniel Best looking for win number 2 of the season. Same goes for Hugh Brown restarting in the 3rd spot. Michael Kurgelak, who is having a phenomenal race, looking for win 1 in start number 7 of 2025. And then we've got to talk about William Larkyat in the top 5, highest he's been in this race. He's also looking for win 2 of 2025. Not an attempted overtime. It's a green-white checkered. 2 laps of racing remaining. Is it Lamar? Is it Best? Is it an SBR car? Or is it the field? We're back to green. Better restart there that time from Daniel Best, but Lamar able to clear.
Lamar with a great clear. Daniel Best once again doing everything he can. He gets loose. Almost got to his right rear.
Yapped it, and that may have cost him big time. We got one over the wall and Freeman. Caution flag waves. And we're going to the overtime.
There's more wrecking into 3 and 4.
That's Freeman. Freeman and Duggar. Billy Brickley also involved.
Well,
and that is likely it for Duggar.
If I'm Daniel Best, I'm in a better spot now than I was before.
Absolutely. He'll restart 3rd. He'll go when Lamar goes. He'll have a better reaction time compared to Brown here.
Wow. One more attempt at this.
Our final restart of the night. It's been a very long night. We've had some long runs. There's also been some calamity as well. Here's what brought out the caution flag. You see on sideways, or excuse me, or sideways. Hagelin goes around, he collects Freeman 2 in the 17. And they rule it a racing accident. There you see the contact there. I think that was Brickley that got into Hagelin.
You see the 54 of Orr trying to do the best he can to stay off of him, and oh, man.
So again, a reminder here, this is the final restart. If we get a yellow before the white, this race will end under caution based off of the moment of scoring. If we get the white flag, we will go to the checkered flag no matter what happens and what.
This is going to be Daniel Best's only opportunity to snag this win away. We've seen him trying really hard to send it on that outside, but this time he'll be on the back bumper, not to have to drive it in as hard, as far, if he can stay right there within reach. We'll see how well Daniel Best can execute this restart.
Lights are off. The final lap before the final restart of the night. This is about to get wild. Lamar, Brown, Best, Lark, Kurgulek. That is the top 5 when we come back to green. Stack up mid-pack. Sanchez looking low, 3 wide. Best and Brown rub on each other for the second spot, and Best makes his way through to second. Can he catch Steve Lamar? Oh, hang on there. Best, and oh, there's a wreck. Brown get together. That's going to end the race. Big crash. The 44 is involved. Same with the 29. Steve Lamar is going to win this race in Iowa. They are not racing back to the end. Lamar the winner. I don't know who was second at the moment of caution. We saw Kurgulek at first, but it may be now. It may be William Lark now with a P2 finish. And nope, now it is Kurgulek, moving ahead of the 10 of William Lark. But Steve Lamar, second start, and we've got some beef. They are wrecking as well under the yellow flag. Brian Burchett spins in turn 3. And so that is going to do it. Steve Lamar, his second start, takes the win at Iowa in the Door Cup Series. Here comes Burchett as well. And hang on a second. Drivers are staying on the track.
Yes, they got a couple drivers with black flags too at all this as well.
Yeah, I think they're reviewing everything here after the restart. The race is over. Drivers are towing and disconnecting. Steve Lamar is the race winner. What a race for Lamar. Kept it near the front.
And I think they gave Lark to second there, so
there's a lot that race control will have to digest. Just a lot of wild stuff that broke out, but all results though are unofficial. While they try to unpack all the beef here, Lamar gets to let up some smoke, and here's how the results look. All of this from what we're hearing is unofficial, not going to be true off of iRacing. But Lamar, your race winner, followed by Larkin second, Michael Kurgulek third, Josh Switzer fourth, Joshua Sanchez fifth, Daniel Best sixth, Chris Essery seventh, Brian Burchett eighth, Hugh Brown ninth, James Nesta rounds out the top 10. Jeremy?
Right outside the top 10 there, we had Danny Carpenter in that 28. Billy Brickley fights back to 12th, it's the 69. 13th, Tommy Osborne. 14th, Ronald Judd. Alan Berger comes home in 15th. Terry Orr in the 54 comes home in 16th. 17th goes to 99 of Highland. 18th is the 16 of Nate Pollard. 19th goes to William Hewitt, and 20th is Thomas Freeman.
Michael Reeds, Trevor Baxter, Josh Hyatt, and Brian Wassman all finishing out of the race. Let's step aside, take a quick break. When we come back, talk to your top 3 in just a moment. Door Cup Series on Maconi Entertainment. Are we clear?
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Back here on Maconi Entertainment, post-race coverage of Door Cup Series from Iowa, where Steve Lamar has taken the checkered flag, his second start with Door after finishing last week at Indianapolis. Takes the victory here at the Iowa Speedway. Big congratulations to him on a job well done. With that, we're going to bring in the top three. We're going to begin from 3 through 1 as we're waiting for Steve to come into the waiting room. So we're going to begin with Michael Kurdzielak, our third place finisher. Michael, Marty, and the Booth Boys up here. I guess the first talking point I want to bring up for you, that stage 2, take me through the decision to go for 4 tires there. The 30 laps of fresh tires paid off, and you got that win. That was really important.
Well, I think it's because I had that mishap where I spun off of 2, which kind of hurt the tires. So I went ahead and decided to go ahead and pit. Plus the crew chief told me to do that, and so I did, and it paid off. It worked out real nicely.
How'd you feel about your car once you were able to cycle back through, once everyone was on basically an even strategy?
Oh, I felt good all night. Here at Red Snapper Racing, Chris made a good setup. My tires, my rights were great all night. My lefts were good too, but it ate rights all night. But I was really good all night, and I say thanks to Chris.
Well, who do you want to give shout-outs to before we let you go?
I want to shout out to Red Snapper Racing and my crew chief, Philip, for giving me a good call there at the end too. And good race to all the guys. And thanks to you guys.
Appreciate it, Michael. Hey, great job. Great job as a whole tonight. Well done. Best of luck next week.
Thanks, sir.
All right, that's Michael Kurdzielak, our third place finisher. Let's go to the second place finisher here in William Lark. And Jeremy, you've caught up with him.
Yes, we've caught up with our second place finisher here tonight, William Lark, in that number 10 machine Exalta red, white, and blue each and every week. William, welcome to the podium. You started 5th, coming home 2nd. Walk us through your very eventful evening.
Well, I got a little damage in the first stage. Got a little bump in the rear end and tried to save it, hit the wall. Fighting that condition all night. Got lucky, kind of got the rabbit's foot there toward the end there to get on the podium.
Sometimes you definitely just need a little bit of luck to get it done. What else did you need potentially to get that win?
I needed some more laps. I think I was much better on the long run than a short run. I think I needed a longer run toward the end. I didn't want to see them last few cautions there. I wanted to see it end on the green.
All right. Well, hey, you brought it home 2nd place. Who do you got to thank for getting me here tonight?
Well, I got to thank my boys, my Carolina boys racing team, that we kind of get together, work on these setups here, man. And I want to appreciate you guys for all you guys do. Y'all do a great job with this league, man. And thanks for all you do.
Awesome. We appreciate your time, William. Hopefully we'll talk to you in the near future.
Thank you, sir.
All right,
Thank
so
you.
that's William Lark, our runner-up finisher, and now we head to victory lane. Your winner in with us, Steve Lamar. Steve, second start with the series. You go from a last at Indy to a win at Iowa. How did you do it tonight?
Well, I have to say that most of it comes from me being semi-retired. I probably got more time in the seat this week than most everybody. The other side of what it is is Ken Byron and his crew over there work relentlessly. I think the last set that they put out for us was on the 31st. So he never gives up. He always says that if he can do something better, he does it. So they work late on stuff all the time. I want to congratulate everybody. It was a good race. I was concerned at the last there with who was that behind me?
William or
William.
Kurjalak?
It was William, and I really was wondering if he was going to overtake me, but he got loose on that one restart. So once he was gone, I just figured, well, I got it now. So, but it was fun. I had a lot of fun, and I'm sure glad that Trevor invited me over here to this deal with you guys. It's a lot of fun. And thank you guys for doing your radio thing on it too. I appreciate that.
We appreciate it. Hey, one more before we let you go here. What was going? Actually, two more. What was going through your mind after the lap started ticking down? We were starting to get cautions, breeding cautions. Do you think like guys like Lark or maybe your teammates too, like Hugh or Alan, they think they'd have anything for you?
You know, Hugh was good, and I know Alan had it for me. They're driving basically the same sets. I don't know if each one of us have the same set in, but I know they're Ryco cars, so they're always going to be up there in the front. And yeah, those restarts. If I felt like if I don't know who took who out, but Hugh, if he wouldn't have gotten taken out, I'm pretty sure he could have sewed up a second. But yeah, I had concern of both of those guys.
How are we feeling next week going to Watkins Glen?
Watkins Glen, it's road courses. I'm not super great at them. I've been avoiding them like a plague, but I got me a new steering wheel and stuff like that coming. So maybe I'll try to start using it and try to develop myself in it.
We'll let you go, Steve. Congratulations. First win out of the year. Well done. Keep up the good work.
Marty, thank you. I appreciate you guys.
Absolutely. Steve Lamar getting the job done here. So we head to our home track next week, Jeremy, as we get set to sign off. Final thoughts.
What a very exciting race here once again with Door Racing League, Iowa. Definitely played very tricky for some drivers, especially when they drove it over that line just so slightly, but extremely excited to go to the, I guess you could say, the super speedway of road courses of Watkins Glen here in upstate New York. Not only is it a great facility in real life, but it's also great to drive on iRacing, as obviously we don't race on it as much in real life. So it's always a blast of a track, and excited to be there and excited to get these last few road courses out of the way this season.
So with that, we will bid you adieu here on this fine Sunday night. Glad you could all join us, and we will talk to you next week at the twists and turns of Watkins Glen. I'm Brad Favre here at Door Race League and Maconi Entertainment. Christian Hill, our producer, my broadcast partner tonight, Jeremy Briggs, Marty Scala, saying so long. This broadcast has been a production of Maconi Entertainment. Congratulations to Steve Lamar, your winner at Iowa. So long.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.